You're about to watch Rockin Robbie live. Bunker down and see you on the other side.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome, in fact, to Rockin Robbie Live. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. Station Pop Pop Boom. We got a great show planned for you tonight. We're just going to be hanging out, chilling, just talking comics, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more as we do here on Sunday nights on Pop Culture Philosophers on Rockin Robbie Live. Here with me, your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. So super excited to be here, everybody. Please, once you jump into this chat, throw out a station, a pop, pop, boom. Let everybody know that you're up in the room. What do you want to talk about? Because even though we have a purpose, a plan, grandiose, some may call it, this show is driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, your concerns. So get them in right now. What do you want to talk about, PCP Army? Let's go. Anyway, thank you so much for checking us out tonight. Be sure to join us tomorrow night as the PCP Movie Night 2024 season continues on with the debut of Van Damme December. That's right, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time here on the channel, we will be talking about Double Impact. That's right, Double Impact is the winner of the Van Damme December PCP Army movie poll. Overwhelmingly, y'all have chosen Double Impact. So tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time. I was over at Blood Splatter Chatter on Friday. We had a great conversation about Smile and Smile 2, so definitely check that out. I was also over at the all-new, all-different Blame Fable show Friday night, so check that one out as well. And last night, we had the best comics of the month. That's right, the award-winning monthly comic book review. Best comics of November. Me, Nick from Comic Culture, Greg from Bearded Comic Bro, and Eric from 9 Panel Grid. It was a super dope show. Definitely worth checking out on the rewind. We now pause for station identification. All right, everybody. And you know we can't really officially kick it off until, and I see Bueller out there in the chat, until we go ahead and honor our buddy Bueller, who is allowing us to deliver you your very own YouTube comic book community official First Five. All right, here we are. We're going through the DVD collection. These are things that I've yet to upgrade to Blu-ray, things I just decided to keep. How about that? Star Trek, the animated series, in a nice clamshell box set right there. The entirety of the animated Star Trek series right there. Is this series good? Not really. But if you're a Trekker like I am, you have to have it. All right. How about some Star Wars action? Here's my Star Wars collection, y'all. Here we got Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace on DVD. Still don't have this thing on Blu-ray. Don't have any of the Star Wars movies on Blu-ray. But I got them on DVD. There's Episode 1. There's Episode 2 with Attack of the Clones. One of the weakest Star Wars movies. Until recently. And then there's Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And then we've got Episode 4, A New Hope. And we've got Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. And what's cool about these, and the main reason why these are still in my collection, is because these are the 2-disc, widescreen, limited edition sets from the early 2000s that have the original theatrical releases. This is the last time that Lucasfilm has released the original cuts of the films on physical media, and you know we gotta have them. That has been your very own and official. First 5. All right, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Super excited to have y'all here. Oh, I was supposed to do all this stuff. Follow me on Twitter /X at the Rockin Robbie. Join the PCP Army on Facebook. Follow Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and, of course, on Instagram. If you want to help support the channel, you can do so with Super Chat, or you can do so at patreon.com/PCP. It's all cool. Also, it's Christmas time, y'all. It's December 1st. We are in the Christmas season. I just put up my tree, my decorations, and everything today. So, you know what I'm saying? It's Christmas time. If you want to give your favorite comic book YouTuber a Christmas gift, there in the chat, pinned at the top, and I'm dropping it right now, there is my Christmas Amazon wish list. There's a bunch of random stuff on there, but there's also a bunch of movies. And as it usually goes, if you go to that wish list, if you buy one of those movies and send it to me for Christmas, that will be added to the PCP movie night lineup. So there you go, everybody. If you want to help support the channel or help support Rockin Robbie. And also, we're not really ready to dive fully into this. However, we did have one of our studio lights go out. So one of the studio lights went out, the ones that we use when we do the weekly comic book review, that went out. So I'm also going to drop the wish list to the PCP Studio Wishlist that we'll start getting more into early in 2025 because we got to upgrade that light. But if anybody wants to help, you can do so there. And that would also count as a Christmas gift. However, we appreciate everybody being here. Station. And don't forget, Van Damme. December starts tomorrow night on PCP Movie Night with Double Impact. I still have yet to watch it. So I got to watch it after this show. All right, so that's what we're going to do. But I'm excited to be here and just kind of chat with y'all. So how about an opening shot? But we're going to smoke that opening shot instead of drink it. How about that? Dope. What is up, everybody? Let's take a look at the chat. Let's see who's in here. And once you get in here, let us know you're here. What do you want to chat about? Let's do. We got GT Key Comic up in the house. We got Jesse Say What up in the house. Comic Cinephile with a station, fam. Comic Cinephile, really love your name there. Comic Cinephile. You're describing yourself and myself. Edson, what is up? Good to see you here. 9-Panel Grid is in the house. Choose Violence is up in the house. Canadian Survivalist. We got Underdog with the Pop Pop Boom. We got CTA Frank with the Station. Chill Out Man is up in the house. We got Easy Reader in the house. Hydra Asylum Comics Station. How you doing? Super excited to see here, whether it's Jay or Sean or the both of you. It's super always excited to see here. We got James with a Station, Rockin Robbie, and the chat. Bueller, my man, saying, hi, Robbie, miss you, brother. I miss you too, bro. When we hanging out again, man, come on. Two Gun Pedro is up in the house. Pew pew. How you doing, my man? Comics for Blame with a howdy. How about a howdy station? There you go. Look at all these beautiful people out there in the chat. Oh, we got Greg, Bearded Comic Bro. What is up, my man? I have a special spot for the prequels. I have a special spot for Phantom Menace and Revenge of the Sith. And you know what? I'll be honest with you, Greg. Attack of the Clones is not as bad as people let on to be, but the Anakin stuff in Attack of the Clones is some bullshit. It's really bad. And here's the thing. Regardless of what we think about the prequels, the sequel trilogy really turned a lot of us into fans of the prequels, right? All right, how about this? PCP Army, here we go. Not including New Hope, or aka Star Wars, not including the original film, or Empire, or Jedi, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? That's right. Between Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Force Unleashed, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. What's your favorite one? We're not counting stuff like Solo or Rogue One or any of that kind of bullshit. We're talking about just the core saga stuff. Out of those 6 films, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. I almost threw up in my mouth just saying it. Out of those 6 movies, what are your favorites? Let's dive into it. Yo, what's up, Contemporary Comics? Choose Violence says, is anyone else using the Criticalist app? Great for reviewing movies. I don't use that. I don't use Letterboxd. I don't use any app to review movies. I just do it here on the channel. And there's going to be more movie review content for 2025. So that's something that I want to talk about. 2025 is coming up, y'all. 2025 is a big year for PCP because it marks our 10th anniversary. So we plan on doing some special fun stuff throughout the course of the year. The actual anniversary is July 1st, so it'll be a build up to it, a celebration, and then a build out from it, right? But we're taking the whole opportunity to make 2025 hashtag PCPX. It's going to be PCP to the most extreme, and we are streamlining the show, the channel, what we do. Now, one thing that's not going away at all is the weekly comic book review. We've already had this chat a little bit, and everybody wants the pop culture wrap-up to return. We're making plans to bring that back. Everything else is up for grabs. Well, PCP Movie Night's staying. PCP Movie Night is staying. But everything else is up for grabs. So I want to ask a couple questions. Here's the couple. Number 1, what do you want to see from Pop Culture Philosophers as far as content goes for our 10th year, the year of PCPX, 2025, Pop Culture Philosophers? What do you want to see? Meaning the return of an old show, certain types of content, certain types of formats. I don't know. You let me know. And question number 2, as far as Rockin Robbie Live goes, what do you love about Rockin Robbie Live? When Rockin Robbie Live is going to continue on in 2025, but I am thinking about reformatting Rockin Robbie Live. In fact, I'm not just thinking about it. We are reformatting Rockin Robbie Live. It's going to be a whole different thing, but very similar to what we've had before. So it's not going to be too different, but what I want to know is Rockin Robbie Live. We've been doing this for almost 10 years now, right? What is your favorite part of Rockin Robbie Live? Please let me know. That will help inform where we move forward in 2025, the year of extremeness, the year of PCP. Smoke weed. Joe, what is up, my man? What is up, Starscream? We got Kit Cloud Kicker in the house. How you doing? Stu from Dr. Doom's fan club, Stational. How we doing tonight, man? What a killer week from DC. You ain't even lying. I know you wish you were here with us last night for the monthly comic book review, and I know we were talking shit, Stu, but you know we missed the hell out of you, man. So really, really regretting that you weren't able to make it, because what a great month of comics to talk about, and in particular, a great week of DC to talk about. Speaking of which, no DC sneak peek tonight. I haven't had a chance to read them all. So, there you go. Choco's 26 is here. What is up, my man? Station. Pop, pop, boom. Mad Bomber is here, says, Station, anyone else check out the FTLOC live stream today? FTLOC. I don't know what we're referring to, Mad Bomber. Could you unabbreviate that for me? I'm 43, so I can't handle that. Yo, I had this moment today where I was driving, I looked in the mirror, and I was like, I realized I got way more gray in my beard now, and I was like, oh. And I was picking up my girlfriend for lunch, and I was like, honestly, I wanted to have a conversation with her about yo, you still gonna want to hang out with me when I'm gray and shit, because it's coming. It's coming. Hey, what's up, Kenneth? Choose Violence says the prequels for Star Wars are better with the sound muted. Meaning they look pretty, but the audio content's not so good. Hydra Asylum says Rogue One. I said Rogue One doesn't count. And everybody just likes Rogue One because of that fucking bullshit one little fucking scene where Vader shows up and acts badass. And if you watch that shit in sequence, chronologically speaking, as far as the story goes, this dude goes from wah, to fighting Obi-Wan to being whoa. One thing I've learned in 10 years on YouTube is one of my favorite things to do is talk shit about Star Wars. It really gets to some people. I don't know if y'all know me. I like to talk shit. Sometimes talking shit gets me not over my head, but gets me in, not necessarily in trouble, but gets people trying to get me in trouble. And if you are plugged in to the some certain things that went on this week, then you know what I'm talking about. Bearded says, I will tell Hayden you didn't like his acting in the second one this weekend. I don't want you to do that. It's not that I don't like his acting. Well, I really don't like his acting, but it's not his fault. George Lucas wrote a terrible script for both him and for, why can I not think of her name right now? Natalie Portman played Padme/Amidala. They had no favors given to them to start with. So what I want you to tell Hayden is this. Say, Rockin Robbie from PCP, and then he'll go, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. That dude's fucking dope. He won't. But you can tell Hayden that I really love Jumper, and it's a big tragedy that we didn't get to see that series develop and flourish out. So there you go. Easy Reader says Rogue One. Once again, we're not counting that one. Choco says Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith's got some good moments. Revenge of the Sith, I think, might be the best of the prequels, for sure. Could be better, but it's still pretty solid for what it is. All right, where are we at here? Underdog says The Last Jedi, obviously. The Last Jedi, I think, is one of the most beautiful looking Star Wars movies. It's got moments in it that a lot of people hate that I appreciate and love. There, though, is that entire fucking Casino Planet bullshit. The character of whatever, I can't remember the name of the character, but the Benicio del Toro character, all that on my rewatches really dragged that movie down for me. But I do still say I like Last Jedi. There's some moments in there that I really think is awesome. And I know a lot of people don't like the Luke stuff. I think Luke, at the end of that movie, when he shows up force projecting on that planet and just tears ass, I thought that was great. Our Ariaga says, Station, awesome monthly review yesterday, Robbie. Hope that panel becomes the official lineup for 2025. Ariaga, why are you hating on Stu? What's... Stu, you see that? You see that, Stu? Our Ariaga is saying, keep Stu away in 2025. Bearded says, Revenge of the Sith. Bizarro Fett, what's up, my man? Says, Phantom Menace. So does Anthony Davis. Is this the Anthony Davis that I know in personal life? You let me know. Other than that, though, good to see you here. Phantom Menace, I'm going to tell you this. Out of those 3 original films, I might go with Phantom Menace. I might go with Phantom Menace just because of the nostalgic, like appeal of it for me. So I graduated high school in May of 1999. May of 1999 is also when The Phantom Menace came out. So there are movies in 1999 that mean a big deal to me. Those movies are things like Fight Club and American Beauty and stuff like that, right? And The Matrix, right? But I remember how big of a deal The Matrix was and all this stuff. But The Phantom Menace, it was such a big deal. I worked at the movie theater as well when The Phantom Menace was in theaters. So I have a lot of nostalgic, happy memories tied into The Phantom Menace. I don't think The Phantom Menace is as bad as other people let on that it is. It's not as bad as, say, Rise of... It's not as bad as the episode 9. It's not as bad as episode 9. But that being said, I think Phantom Menace has got a lot going for it that didn't really quite get developed. I think the biggest problem with the prequel trilogy for Star Wars is that they started too far back. Like, it should have been teenage Anakin, and we could have actually developed out the relationship with Padme and him becoming a young Jedi and his like, I don't know, like his whole journey, I think could have been handled a lot better if we didn't have to go from like age 7 to age 17 to age 27 to like skip 10 years each in between each movie. Cause that's not what we did necessarily for Luke or Han or Leia and what we call now episode 4, 5, and 6. So, but the Phantom Menace has got more going for it than people. Like Qui-Gon Jinn's awesome. Darth Maul's awesome. There's a lot of wasted opportunity and potential, but I still like Phantom Menace. It might be my favorite of the 3. Hydra Asylum says, Revenge of the Sith. Bizarro says, and Battle for Endor. Get that shit out of here, man. What are you talking about? Bearded says, Phantom Menace made a close second because it produced a dope Pod Racer 64 game. Dude, that pod... I'm going to tell you this. People can fucking disagree. That's fine. I don't care. The pod racing scene in Phantom Menace and the Duel of the Fates. Those are 2 things that are better than anything else in the prequel trilogy or the sequel trilogy. And better than almost anything else in Return of the Jedi, in my opinion, too. So, yeah. My personal, okay, those 6 movies, hold on, those 9 movies, from worst to best, all right? So at number 9, I'll go at number 9 is going to be episode 9. At number 8, I'll go Attack of the Clones. At number 7, I'll go Return of the Jedi. At number 6, I'll go Force Awakens. At number 5, I'll go Last Jedi. At number 4, I'll go Revenge of the Sith. At number 3, I'll go Phantom Menace. At number 2, I'll go New Hope. And at number 1, I'll go Empire Strikes Back. Anthony says, you got to watch Neon Genesis Evangelion. Let me correct you. You have to watch Neon Genesis Evangelion again. And I agree. I fucking love Neon Genesis. Neon Genesis is my favorite anime series. I adore it. Now, what I do need to do is watch the newer movies that they've done, because I've only watched the volume of the version 1 of the rebuild, like the first movie, right? I've only watched that where they basically they took like the animation elements and they like rethought about the story, and then the creator for I don't know what, the 4th time tried to successfully land the plane for Neon Genesis. But no, huge fan of Neon Genesis Evangelion. Love it so freaking much. I no longer own it physically. I got rid of my DVD set. I think there's a Blu-ray set out there. I want to get those movies too as well. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Evangelion. And I really do want to watch those movies because I have yet to get a truly satisfying conclusion to the saga, because the show ends and kind of like, y'all know what I'm saying. Like, I appreciate the philosophical end of the show, but it didn't really give us what we wanted. Then they, of course, did Death and Rebirth, and then End of Evangelion. End of Evangelion is cool, but man, that shit is confusing, right? So I want to check out the rebuilds. I've only seen the first one. They're not easy to come across, but I want to watch them. I want to own them too. And I want to own the original series. And I heard the most recent translation they did for like Netflix a few years ago was really whack. So I wish I would have kept. I had the Neon Genesis Platinum Edition Blu-ray or DVD set that was in like the silver chrome like box set. I wish I would have kept that. CTA Frank says, I mind wipe myself after watching those movies. Talking about the Star Wars prequels and sequels. R. Ariaga says, Revenge of the Sith is the only one of those 6 that is close to the quality level of the original trilogy. Hydra Asylum says, more community hangouts. I don't know what a community hangout is, but it sounds like something I wouldn't like. Comic Cinephile says, Phantom Menace. I remember the excitement leading to the premiere and having so many great memories watching it. Same here. Contemporary Comics says, I'm only interested in new comics. Keep that up and I'm holding space for you, bro. That ain't never gonna change, man. Weekly Comic Book Review is still the flagship title of the stream, and we're very excited to continue on with that every single week for over 8 years now, never missing a week. Bizarro Fett says, I'm pretty fond of the top-down showing off of trades and such, whatever that show is called. Top-down, bottoms-up. All right. That's a vote for the top-down videos. You know, I did a few of those. I got the rig to do it. I did a series of them, and it just didn't quite... First of all, it didn't quite get the traction that I wanted it to have, and I also had the unfortunate... It was very unfortunate that I started doing that right before Ed Piscor passed away. And I was already conflicted about doing top-down videos because I loved Cartoonist Kayfabe so much and I didn't want to be ripping them off. But everybody was encouraging me to just do the top-down, that kind of thing. So I started doing it. And basically when Ed had taken his life, it was like within week 2 or 3 of me doing that. And a lot of people misconstrued it and thought that I was like taking advantage of a situation, so I kind of just stopped doing them. I enjoyed doing them, to be honest with you, but I do feel like I never did them, and I didn't do enough of them to really get my kind of vibe and flavor on what to do with the top-down video. So it's still something on the doc, maybe. I don't know. What do y'all think? Y'all did y'all like the top-down, bottoms-up videos? I got other people telling me to bring them back, but I don't know. Joe says DC picks Hellboy song. DC picks and the Hellboy song are your favorite things about Rockin Robbie Live. All right, so you want to keep the DC sneak peek, and you want the Hellboy song. Well, we can always have the Hellboy song on a Rockin Robbie Live with the super chat. Choco says DC sneak peek and the show and tell. Show and tell. And another vote for the DC sneak peek. Alrighty. Bueller says Rockin Robbie Live needs a monthly visit by Bueller. You telling me that you want a Bueller and Rockin Robbie? Do you tell me that we want a Rockin Robbie and Comics with Bueller live stream once a month until you retire, my man? Because I would do that. I would do that 100%. The Hellboy song. Hell yeah. All right. We got another vote for the Hellboy song. R. Ariaga says, it would be cool to have a deep dive into the coolest and most relevant runs of creative teams in comic history. That's a good idea. How would you prefer that video Ariaga. Would you want to see something like a video essay type thing? Would you prefer a top-down type thing? Would you prefer just me standing in front of the camera type thing? How would you like to see that delivered? And in fact, that gives me another question to ask you. What do you prefer? Do you prefer me in front just talking? Do you prefer video essay, heavily edited type things? Which, if that's what you prefer, good luck, right? Or top-down, flipping through comics, showing you shit. Like, what do y'all prefer as far as something like that? Mad Bomber says, I liked it when you'd go over the list of books that are coming out and what everyone is looking forward to. All right. So you like to look ahead. That's old school. You know why I started doing that? All right. So Rockin Robbie Live was always intended, first of all, just to be me and the chat talking for an hour at most, right? Look at those early days of Rockin Robbie Live, and it's wild what the show was. Then the show became this whole thing filled with bits and all this kind of thing. Well, the very first bit would have been that, like diving in, like, here, let's list what's coming out this week and talk about what we're most looking forward to. And the reason why I did that is because in those early days, when I would start the show, there'd be like maybe 1 or 2 people in the stream watching and listening and commenting for the first 5-10 minutes. So I needed something that just didn't feel like I was just talking to my fucking self for some reason. And that's why we started doing that. Then we stopped doing that. Bob says, I like the deep dive into great comics like Punisher Warzone stuff you did. Oh, you like Marvel in the 90s. Marvel in the 90s. Here's a question. Would you still watch Rockin Robbie Live if it didn't have the DC sneak peek? What do y'all think? Fable, what is up, my man? Station. Yeah, and Bob, thank you for pointing that out. I went through all those first, 6 issues of Punisher Warzone, and I still got to clip those out and put them up. There's still actually a whole run of Youngblood to get through. Like, there's still some of those Marvel in the 90s to clip out. And, Rockin Robbie Live became a thing where I would, do bits that maybe I could clip out. Movie reviews, Marvel in the 90s, comic reviews, shit like that, even DC sneak peeks and stuff. Like, I always contemplated, doing stuff to clip out, but, it's like, I'm a lazy YouTuber, just so everybody knows, right? Like, I don't like editing videos. I like putting in a lot of work to the channel and what I do. And what I mean by that is I put in the work of reading, absorbing, and being able to regurgitate shit, right? This is my work. I am not a producer like that, right? Like, I can produce a show. I can edit a video if I really wanted to, but that's not my passion. That's not what I do. That's why you don't get that level of content here on PCP, right? It's mostly a podcast type thing. It's mostly Rockin Robbie and his friends rambling, and that's what I like to do because I put in the work to be able to do that and do it in what I think is kind of an intelligent and interesting and fun and exciting way. So there you go. Just for men. Nah, I don't know. I always wanted to go gray. And what's crazy is I look at me right now on my monitor and, man, I'm looking good, y'all. I'm looking good. Doesn't look like I got a lot of gray, but I am noticing there's more gray in here now. Up here doesn't bother me as much. But honestly, I have friends, when the gray starts, it will go like that. And I've been slowly graying for a few years now. But it's now hitting a point where I'm like, oh shit, in the right sunlight, I'm like, fuck, touch of gray, more, you know what I'm saying? Like, I might be a year away from gray-headed. I might be a year away. I don't know. How am I don't know. Should I just start dyeing my hair right now just for mint so nobody notices the difference? If I dye my hair, people would notice because my hair shines and gleams in the sunlight. So if I dyed it, would it be different? Oh, Jesus. Just for men, touch of gray though. That would be the. I always wanted to look like George Clooney, and now that it's happening, I'm starting to get fucking freaked out, y'all. Choose violence. What's up, Fable? By the way, Station. That doesn't mean station. This means station. Can I just get this off my chest? I cannot stand it when people go station. I don't like this. What the fuck is that? That's like some Nazi shit almost to me. Like station. Like that's a square person being like, station, kids. Station's one of these. It's a lean back station. And I'm not talking about you, Fable. You do it right, right? And you can go up. It's about the lean. It's about the Bill and Ted, like, you know what I'm saying? So y'all please stop doing this shit. Comic book YouTube channels that do this suck, just so everybody knows. But Choose Violence says, just kicking it, talking about anything is what I like. That's what Rockin Robbie Live is 100% going to be in 2025. For sure. So thank you for that. And don't forget, everybody, pinned at the top of the chat is my Christmas wish list. If you want to send a Blu-ray or another gift to your favorite comic book YouTuber, do that. But if you want to do it for me, then you can go on that wish list and pick something up, send it to me. And if you buy a movie that's on that list, it will be added to the PCP movie night list at some point. So awesome, right? Also, we got just updated. I'm dropping this in the chat right now. Pinned at the top is the Xmas wish list. Just dropped in the chat is the PCP Studio wish list. This light right here went out. So that's going to start affecting me pretty quickly. Like that's the brightest that it's getting right now. And that's not enough. So this light has gone out. It was cheap. And I appreciate the support when we upgraded the PCP Studio. I still got one light there. I think between that light and these lights, I can still do the video for a couple weeks, but we do need some more lights. They're better, they're more expensive, but there's better lights on there. If anybody wants to help out, otherwise we'll get it in the next few months. But anyway, thank you. All the support we need is to like, share, subscribe. Hydra Asylum says, being serious, DC sneak peek and show and tell. All right. So y'all don't want to lose the DC sneak peek, do you? Stu says, shots fired. What the fuck, Ariaga? Hell yeah. Hydra Asylum says, nah, that part could have been left out and I still would have dug it. I don't know what we're talking about right now. Gonna make a thumbnail now. I don't know what we're referring to. I'm sorry. Starscream says the Q&A session or section with Rockin Robbie Live would be sweet. Well, that's what we're doing now. You got a question, Starscream? Let me know. But yeah, that's just like the generic. Like, yeah, we're just kicking it. Just Q&A. What do you want to talk about? That's why we always do in Rockin Robbie Live. We always say, oh, upcoming tonight, we got the DC sneak peek. We got Marvel in the 90s. We got this. We're going to talk about this. But even though we got a plan, the show is driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, and your concerns. So yeah, Starscream, and you are in one right now. So if you got a question, go. Choose Violence says, yes, sir. Muted prequels let you see what a visionary George Lucas is and remind you of how shit his dialogue is. Mad Bomber says, need a PCP library walkthrough video. Oh, dude, I've been wanting to give y'all one of those. The studio tour, all that shit. I am in the middle of a big purge of my collection. And when that is done and all back together, we're going to do that. What do you think about the Hulk versus Wolverine rumor movie? Right now it's a rumor. It would be a weird thing to do. What we need to do is we just need to have a Hulk versus Wolverine badass sequence in a Hulk or a Wolverine movie, right? Like, and why not? Why, if you want to do Hulk versus Wolverine, that's fine. But I think that the MCU needs to kind of really refocus some efforts right now. They got some stuff that has worked over the last few years. Even this year, like Agatha all along was really good. Like, I really liked that show. But it kind of exists on its own. So I think we need less Hulk versus Wolverine and just more like a Hulk movie. And maybe a Wolverine could be a part of it, you know? And a big Wolverine fight should be a part of an upcoming movie or something. Maybe a Wolverine movie or something like that. But I don't know if we need a Hulk versus Wolverine movie. You know, then it seems like we're just leaning into the success of Deadpool Wolverine, and we want to just keep doing that. Deadpool and Wolverine, Hulk and Wolverine, Captain America and Wolverine, Spider-Man and Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to get into that trope, right? 9-Panel Grid says, years from now, people will be saying, oh, I love Last Jedi, and I'll be here to say I love that movie since day one. I like Last Jedi too, bruh, but I'm telling you, man, the Benicio del Toro character and that whole fucking Casino Planet thing or whatever, it's bullshit, dude. It's bullshit. It's padding in the fucking movie that didn't need padding, in my opinion. Everything else I love, though. I'm not a Last Jedi hater. You should have guests on Rockin Robbie Live, says Joe. You know, there was a while when we first started doing like the interviews with comic YouTubers and comic book creators. We branded them Rockin Robbie Live with. So that's not a bad idea, my friend, to bring that back. And instead of having a conversation with Rockin Robbie Live with Rom V, shit like that, that could be cool. Let's go back to that maybe. Be a comic creator, could be a movie celebrity, could be a comic book YouTuber, could be a retailer, some shit like that, which we've done plenty of in the past. R.R. Yaga says, oh, plus Stu. He's the panel you did last night. Oh, but plus Stu. Oh, whatever. R.R. Yaga, you forgot Stu wasn't even there. Bizarro says, I got a job at a movie theater just to see Phantom Menace early. Fuck yeah, dude. Hey, Marcus is here from Circumstances, asking me to drop the link in the chat. Let me tell you something, Circumstances. I can't do that. Literally just can't do it. I'm not on some StreamYard bullshit right now. Or, you know, what's funny, we live in this world right now. All right. We live in this world where when so many of us have been doing live content on YouTube and we've gotten so used to StreamYard, right? And so I use StreamYard, of course, for PCP Movie Night. I use it for the monthly comic book review. When I have guests on the show, we use StreamYard, right? But when I do Rockin Robbie Live, I actually use OBS. I use OBS and we're doing it live directly into YouTube. And it's so that I can do fun things like, you know, sing along with the Joker thing if I want to, or a Hellboy song, but you know, or like, and I know that's, you know, StreamYard does a lot of this shit now, but when this all first started, StreamYard didn't do stuff like that, right? So we had to like, you know, I wanted to have bits, I wanted to have graphics and animations and shit like that, so I got used to using OBS, so I use OBS, so literally I can't drop you a link right now, Marcus. Otherwise, honestly, for you right now, I would, my man. I would turn Rockin Robbie Live into the sophisticated show that it is, into a community hangout show, just to have you on to have a chat, man. But now we live in a world where StreamYard has upped its price like crazy, right? And a lot of us YouTubers have been talking about this. We know about this. So now when someone invites you on their channel and you get a restream link or you get some other shit, versus getting a StreamYard link, like now the channels that give you a StreamYard link, you're like, oh shit, these dudes are serious. They still use StreamYard. Love you, Marcus. I just want everybody to know this. Marcus, you have my permission to take anything I ever say on my show out of context as much as you want to stir up drama, as long as you Eat a dick, I guess. I don't fucking know what to say. I didn't know what to say. No, you go for it. Here's the thing. There's not drama. There's not drama between me and Marcus. There's not drama between me and other people. If there ever is drama between me and someone else, that is some kayfabe bullshit, right? And we're only doing that for fun. Or are we? I don't know. Maybe Marcus really doesn't like me. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe I like Marcus and I think he likes me, but maybe he fucking doesn't. And maybe he loves misrepresenting me in shortened clips from shows spread out there to IG so that everybody like continues to pile up on Rockin Robbie. I'm just kidding. All I can honestly talk about is my thoughts and feelings. I have nothing but love for Marcus. Circumstances, aka circumstances. I love FOC and chill. I love hangout streams. And I also love the attention when somebody misrepresents me in a clip on IG. So I love attention, and I think Marcus understands that. So I think he knows that I'm not too bothered by it. But Marcus, come on to the channel sometime. Let's do it. Let's do a Rockin Robbie live with circumstances. Who would like to see that? Throw a 1 out in the chat if you want to see Rockin Robbie live with circumstances. Throw a 2 if you don't. Bearded Comic Bro says, I'm going to lay my microphone on Robbie's desk and be like, this is for Stu, and we will have a Rudy YouTube moment. Hydra Asylum says, they just give you a bunch of crap about not reading enough anyways, Bearded. It's true. It's true. Justice for Stu. Hey, man. Eric, I appreciate all the love you're giving to Stu, your co-host, for Ink and Insights, but I'll tell you what, dude, it's not going to make anybody appreciate Power Fantasy anymore. Choose Violence says pod race went 1 lap too long. I fucking love that level of dissection about the pod race scene in Phantom Menace that Choose Violence is like, literally cut 1 lap out and it's perfect. Sounds like something somebody would say on PCP Movie Night. Frankenfrog is here. Phantom Menace was my childhood. The music score was fantastic. Ta-la, ta-la-la, bum bum ba-na-num, bum bum ba-na-num, bum bum ba-na-num, ba-na-num. Yep. Bizarro says the rise of... Bizarro says episode 9 is the most terrible Star Wars anything ever. I agree. Name changes. What is up? Ola says, I love Evangelion. Me too. Anthony says, oh shit, you're an Evangelion fan and a Buffy fan. Super goated. Ever watched Supernatural? It's probably the closest show similar to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I watched the first 8 seasons of Supernatural and I dropped out. I tried to stick with it as much as I could. It just... Supernatural is a show that I don't necessarily like. I think Supernatural has some of the best single episodes out there. They have some great single episodes. But season-long stories and shit, I always felt like they just took the thinnest idea and it was very repetitive to me. It was all right. Like, I liked Supernatural enough, but I don't like it as much as I do, say, like Buffy or Seinfeld or Arrested Development or Lost. Sopranos, Deadwood, Oz. Forgot that HBO existed. Clone Wars animation is the best. I love Star Wars The Clone Wars, whether it's the line art Clone Wars from back in the day or it's the more 3D animated one. I love that shit. All right, Fable, I see you say, great to see Eddie and Triple B on here. Are they here? I haven't seen them yet. Eddie, Triple B, are y'all here? Did I miss y'all? We got Christina Payne in the house. What is up? Good to see you here. My sister from another mister. Circumstances says, no one owns the top-down video. Yeah, but when I started doing it, you get what I'm saying, right, Marcus? Like, Ed had just passed. And that was a death this year that really affected me, man. So, like, I already felt bad doing it to begin with. And then I just felt bad releasing that shit every week. And I was just like, I feel like I'm dishonoring Ed's memory for some reason. Chill Out Man says, I loved your top down, and I believe people should have their own opinion, but also learn to shut the fuck up. But it's my world, nor your world. This is our world. We must share it. I agree. Thank you so much. William says, I enjoyed the top down videos, enjoyed hearing your perspective of older books. Trade Paper Dad says, I love Marvel and Image in the 90s and 2000s, Teen Dog Shades and comic industry updates, the weekly comic book review. Hell yeah. Where is that man Batman? Yep, that one's gone. I'm sorry. I just, life. Life slowed that one up. Contemporary says, I miss Wizard reviews from the top-down camera. Have all the magazines, but I'm not presumption enough to try and replicate kayfabe. That's one thing, Contemporary. Like, I'd like to do that because I know that I could give a different perspective on some of it than I love Jim and I love Ed. But, like, I have a more mainstream approach sometimes to, like, what I was into at the time, right? So I would have a different perspective, but that's a big no-no to me. Like, top-downs on Wizard... that was kayfabe. There's no way I can do that. No way I could do that. But I do collect Wizard magazines, and I have a pretty solid collection. Two Gun Pager is a big reason why I do. And I still am missing a lot of the first 20, though. Fable says, in the 90s. All right. I knew y'all'd like that shit. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to work it out. Maybe we still keep the DC sneak peek. We'll still have show and tell. Maybe we'll talk about what's coming up. Maybe we'll have Marvel in the 90s every once in a while. Something like that. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. Brian, LCS. What is up, my man? The dude who is responsible for the CBC Awards. Everybody go check out the CBC Awards. Right now, we're in the middle of the season, so there's not really any necessary reason to do so. Brian and company do a great job of putting that award show together. So everybody needs to go sub up to him and get ready for 2025 because it's the year of PCPX. PCP Extreme. So, we didn't win anything this year. Last year, we won 5. This next year, we're going for 10. Let's go. Let's go, everybody. Get ready already. Easy Reader says, DC Sneak Peek, Show and Tell, and the cereal reviews. Hell yeah. You like the cereal reviews? Fuck yeah. Anthony says, your favorite video of mine is Comic Revisited series, especially The Authority with Jelani. Yeah, Comics Revisited. Haven't done that one in a while. We shifted it to a live format at the tail end, and I don't know. We just kind of stopped. It was just life started happening. I went from single to mingling. I'll tell you that. Hydra Asylum says, I'd watch no matter what you decide to do. Been a fan for years, and nothing's going to change that. Well, thank you so much, Jay. I appreciate that. As long as Robbie keeps talking shit, I'm watching PCP. Says, chill out, man. Comic Cinephile says, yes on if no DC sneak peek. Yes on if no DC sneak peek. You would still watch it without a DC sneak peek. Is that what you're saying? What's up, Sleepy Reader 666? Damien, my man. What is up, dude? Hey, start thinking about it, dude. We'd love to have you on for the monthly comic review in December. I'll reach out to you about that. Just for men, bro. Silver Fox Robbie coming soon. Sleepy Reader says Diet Blue. Well, you do live in Portland, so I'm sure you're used to it. Dark Fizzo, what is up? I love it when you pull your trades off the shelf to talk about some of your favorite books. Robbie's Trade Shelf Dive. Oh, that's a cool idea. I do sometimes do that, but I've never thought about formatting that as a show. That's a cool idea, or a bit. Kyle, what is up? Lean back station. You got to lean with it. You got to rock with it. Yeah, Cardstock, you know what we do. We still gatekeeping Bill and Ted. Road Collecting, what is up, my man? Stu says, shines and gleams in the sunlight. Okay, Twilight. Fuck you, man. Sleepy Reader says, does Amazon send coal? I guess, man. Send me some coal, dude. I'll give you my address. You already should. I'll give you my address, Damien, if you really want to send me some fucking coal. I'll sell it to somebody in West Virginia or some shit. I don't fucking know. Do they mine coal in West Virginia? I don't fucking know. Like, for some reason, that's what that popped up in my head. I think what I like the most about Rockin Robbie Live is just getting twisted and talking shit with y'all. Oh my God. Name Changes says, to tell you the truth, I usually put this on in the background while I work. I know a lot of people do that, so I hope you continue to do so. Hydra Asylum says, the Vader part in Rogue One, and since you were talking shit, I was going to make a video about how you hate Star Wars and love Tom King. Oh, yeah. Oh, please do. Please do. I like Tom King. I said that last night. I like Tom King. R.R. Yaga, Jesus Christ. R.R. Yaga says, something similar to your Marvel in the 90s section during the show. Probably go over the milestones from the run, artistically impact on the canon. Y'all really like the in the 90s, don't you? Seems like something that works better on Rockin Robbie Live, aside from just clipped out on its own. Name Changes says, I chime in from time to time, but the format works. Don't fix what ain't broken. Not trying to fix something that we think is broken, just trying to make it a little bit easier to do every week. Sleepy Reader says, question, any horror movies that were too intense and you had to watch in smaller sections? Not since I grew balls, Damien, to be honest with you. When I was a kid, though, I had to watch the Thriller music video in sections. And The Exorcist, Night of the Living Dead, Prom Night 2 was one that fucked with me when I was a kid. But as a teenager and adult, no, I don't have that issue. I think you should have a movie night with all the Spider-Man movies. We did do that. We've covered all 3 Sam Raimi movies. We covered the 2 Andrew Garfield movies. And I'm pretty sure we've done Homecoming and maybe the second one in the MCU. But that was in the pre-live days. Actually, since we've been doing the live movie reviews, we haven't done a whole lot of superhero content. But we have done a lot of those movies. So if you want to catch it, like me, Jelani, and Brooks have a series of videos on the channel where we go through the Raimi trilogy and we go through the web films and we go through or at least the first 2 of the Tom Holland movies. Choose Violence says we need a new Hulk first. Well, Ruffalo would come back. I mean, what else is that dude doing? How do you purge comics? Buy bulk at a comic shop or online individually. Second Charles, bulk at a comic shop. That's the easiest way. The way to get the most bang for your buck is online individually or as sets, but I ain't got time for that. So what I typically do is just sell them to a local comic shop. And luckily, I know a pretty good one. Have you heard the rumor of more reshoots for Captain America? It's crazy. I'm just hyped for the Red Hulk, but dreading how they're going to patch the story together. No, I haven't heard that they're doing reshoots right now. That movie's about to come out, man. They need to fucking get their shit. Here's the thing. At least with the MCU right now, if they're doing reshoots, it's because they're changing the game plan. And that could be a good thing, right? I'd never bullshit you either, Marcus. Looks like Contemporary Comics is the only one who wouldn't want to see Marcus come on for a Rockin Robbie Live with circumstances. So, all right, bruh. The chat done called your ass out. Marcus, you better fucking... Marcus, throw a 1 out in the chat if you'll be down. Throw a 2 if you are declining. It's on you, man. We got Verno in the house. Synthetic Panels is in the house. Paul says, hey, Robbie, have you picked up the new DC versus Marvel Omnibus? Just got mine today. It's phenomenal. No, I'm not getting those omnibuses. The omnibus format's not my favorite format. I think it's a cumbersome thing to read. I love I love how like one item and it's all there, but I don't like reading them. I really don't. Like I got some omnibuses still, right? But I've gotten rid of a lot when I was getting into it. But I have all of that content and the paperbacks that they did in the early 2000s. So for me, I don't need to get that. So I'm leaving it out there for y'all. There's one more copy of the DC versus Marvel Omnibus because I don't need to get it. I got it all right over there. They're down there. I've showed them off before. Circumstances says, my idea is you collab with someone and produce some edited content. Hit that Comics Explained status, brother. Who would edit my shit? If somebody's like, Robbie, I'll edit your videos, I'll be like, all right, let's do it. I can't pay you shit. I'll throw you some bud. Circumstances with a 3. All right, we're taking a quick break. We'll be right back here on Rockin Robbie Live.
Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live here on Pop Culture Philosophers. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. We've had a great show already, talking about the future of Rockin Robbie Live, talking about the future of the extremeness of this 10th year of Pop Culture Philosophers coming up in 2025. Lots of great chat about comics, movies, pop culture, and more. We're going to continue that over the second half of the show. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you all so much for the support. Be sure to follow Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can follow me on X at the Rockin Robbie if you want. Everybody else is moving to Blue Sky. Should I move to Blue Sky, y'all? Let me know. Find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com. You can support the channel with Super Chat, which will trigger the Hellboy song, or by joining us over at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons right there. And that is an updated list. I finally updated the list. So there you go. You can also tip on CashApp at the $RobbieBillz, I guess. Is that the thing? It's in the chat, or it's in the link. It's in the description. The link's in the description. Speaking of links, there's a link pinned at the top of the chat for the Rockin Robbie Xmas wish list. There's a bunch of stuff there that I want for Christmas. If you want to get me a Christmas present or a Hanukkah present or whatever present, go for it. And if you get me one of the movies on the list, we will add it to a PCP movie night or lineup, and we will give you a big mention when that happens. What the hell is Blue Sky? It's like the new Twitter. I don't know. It's something everybody's jumping onto right now. I don't fucking know. I don't want to deal with another app or another social media platform. If y'all know me, I'm not like super active on those platforms anyway. I'm still an old head, dude. I'm like 43. I'm still on Facebook mostly. So there you go. What was I saying? Also, we have an updated PCP Studios wish list because we got to get some lights to replace this one, and there's some other things on there and some stupid things too. But yeah, we're also going to be putting that together and really going forward for that in 2025. However, pinned at the top in the description, Rockin Robbie's Xmas wish list. And if you buy a movie, we're going to add it to the PCP movie night. And here's the thing. There's some horny movies on that playlist, y'all. And so I'm daring somebody to buy one of the horny movies to make us cover that, because I'm down to do that. So there you go. All right. Coming up here, speaking of PCP movie night, tomorrow night we kick off Van Damme December with the winner of the Van Damme December movie poll on the PCP Army, Double Impact. It's going to be fun. Friday night, I was over at Blood Splatter Chatter. We talked about Smile and Smile 2, so definitely check out that show. Afterwards, I was on the all-new, all-different Blame Fable show. That was so much fun. Check out the rewind if you missed it. Rewatch it if you watched it the first time. And then Saturday night, last night, we had the best comics of the month, the monthly comic book review, the best comics of November. Me, Nick, Greg, and Eric had a great conversation. By the way, I'm part of a new paranormal show. It's going to be debuting in 2025. Here's the trailer.
When I was a kid, we moved in right next to the neighborhood, and we walked there, like, literally I was like 11 or maybe younger than 11.
All right, we are on our way to the next place.
Yeah.
Do we see him?
I think it's them. He's falling down, maybe left.
That's nope, that's not him.
Damn it. Yeah, and it was one of those ones that, it's like fucking loud.
Little bastards.
And we go down there, and it's pitch black, and there's no lights at all. Just this big alcove, and above there are like trees and like high areas back there that you can walk up to if you know how to get there.
Oh, it wasn't responding the way it was the last time.
Yeah.
Oh no, they hated it this time.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is experimentation. Trying out. Like,
I'm not judging you, brother, right?
It's like
It was just weird when you were like, hold up.
Close Encounters.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm terrified of all ghost stuff, even though I don't believe in anything. But we're walking around, and we hear loud as day. We hear, ah! Just one loud, piercing scream from the trees, and I immediately was like, I wanna go. Can we go?
Trying to do the photo shoot today. No Robbie, no Blake. May not happen. We'll see. base story of the house here. That'll be the last one on it. Found an orange ball after that orange orb encounter.
Say that again. I wasn't recording. I'm so serious.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious, y'all.
Are you really?
I am now. I'm so serious.
Were you recording any of it?
No, none of that.
I told the orange ball sigil story.
He did.
I know you did, and I told you. I'm so sorry I didn't film any of that.
How do we feel about what happened?
I don't want to go home tonight.
Let me know. You want to
Yeah, let me see.
where should we
What do I
put your
want?
shot?
Try not to get a customer here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Come up to like Trevor, like right up in this little section right here.
Hey man, just get you. All right, so what's up, everybody? Paul was asking about the DC versus Marvel omnibus collection, whether I was going to get them. I'm not going to get them. I'm not trying to discourage people from getting them. I think you should. So here's what I have. This is the paperback collections they did in the early 2000s. There's Volume 1. Here is Volume 2. So Volume 1, for instance, has like Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Hulk, Titans, or Teen Titans, and Uncanny X-Men, right? And then Volume 2, it's got these ones. Which ones did these? Oh, it's got the Punisher. Let me read. Where's it at? Surely it says it here somewhere. Batman, Punisher, Punisher, Batman, Silver Surfer, Superman, Batman, Captain America. That's the John Byrne one. Yeah. So Volume 2 has those. Here is Volume 3. And Volume 3 has... Volume 3 has Superman, Incredible Hulk. Oh, that one's really good. Because that one is Steve Rude. Then it's got Spider-Man Gen 13, Team X and Team 7, Daredevil Batman, Spider-Man Batman, the Mark Bagley one, and Gen X and Gen 13. That's even cooler because in the DC versus Marvel collections, you're not going to get the Wildstorm stuff. And then here is Volume 4. And Volume 4 has Green Lantern, Silver Surfer, Darkseid Galactus, that's a John Byrne one as well. Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, Fantastic Four, that was one of the big treasury size ones. I still have that. So that's the Dan Jurgens Fantastic Four Superman one that was but reprinted on a smaller scale. So there's that, and then there's DC versus Marvel right there. And then I forgot to grab them, but down there I also have all 4 trades that collect all of the amalgam books where DC and Marvel characters combined. And I do also have the majority of DC versus Marvel and the amalgam books. I actually have those physically mostly. And I have a lot of these done. Like I don't have like the earliest ones, but I have a lot of the ones from the 90s still. Personally in the collection. So just wanted to share that. What's up, Reckoning? How you doing? William says, why get the omnibus when I have them individually? Exactly. If you already have them, there's no reason to. Chill Out Man says, horny movies. Bro, I've been on my 1970s Italian films for the past 2 weeks. Horny is an understatement. You look at the wish list. There's some horny movies on there. And I would love to just randomly do some horny movies on PCP Movie Night. We'll have a Skinamax September or some shit. Not September, obviously, because that would be in the middle of Horror Fest. Chill Out Man says, you found a movie literally named Strip Nude for Your Killer. Shaking my head. I have that movie. I have that movie. I think Two Gun sent me that movie, and I was unable to be on the Dylan's Horror Show where they covered that. Thank you, Dark Fizzo. That's what you like, right? When I pull out the trades, the random trades. Wasn't that you? That Jim Lee Wolverine Omnibus cover. Hell yeah. Which one are you talking about? The one where he's jumping up? Like the one they use in the video game? Shit's dope. Kitten Puke says, is anyone else reading The Moon is Following Us? I am, and it's a dope-ass book. It's one of the best books of the year so far. Only 3 issues out so far. Trade Paper Dad wants to know, is anybody else getting the East of West Compendium? I pre-ordered today from my LCS. I have the big deluxe hardcovers. There's 3 volumes that collect it all. So that's what I have. I got rid of my original issues. I got those 3 hardcovers. The first one is signed by Hickman and also signed by Nick Dragata with a remark by Nick Dragata. So I'm good with that. But the compendium will be a cool way to get that book. I need to get the milestone compendiums. Kitten Puke says, should I start a comic book weed channel where we toke and talk about the best books of the week and the best strains? Kitten Puke, that's a great idea. That's an idea that me and Perry actually had. We were going to do a cannabis and comics show, and we just haven't done it. So you better get on it before we do, because I just reminded myself. Hell yeah, Dark Fizzo. Tell you what, Dark. Name a creator or a character that you really like. And if I have something that goes along with it, I'll go and find it and pull it off the fucking rack. Let's go. Two Gun's the best. Absolutely. All right, y'all. So I watched a movie last night. I got to talk about this. So this week, what I watched new. So I rewatched Smile to get ready for Verno's show on Saturday or Friday night. And I watched Smile 2 for the first time. Smile 2, I really, really liked. If you want to hear me just like be very horny for Naomi Scott, check out the show that we did over at Blood Splatter Chatter for Smile and Smile 2. And one of the reasons why I still haven't watched Double Impact. I haven't seen this movie since it first released, and I gotta watch it. And I'm watching it. I gotta watch it tonight because the show's tomorrow night. But what else did I watch? Well, last night I rewatched My Best Friend is a Vampire. So that's a movie that I loved so much when I was a kid, and we talk about this a lot on the channel, is that in the mid to late 90s or mid to late 80s, there is a plethora of teenage vampire sex comedy kind of things in a way. Once Bitten with Jim Carrey, you got Vampire's Kiss with Nick Cage, you got Love Bites. Hell, we can throw Fright Night in there. We could even say that Lost Boys is kind of like the gnarly like end of that, right? Because that's not really super comedic, but it is, right? And it's tonally darker though, right? So My Best Friend is a Vampire is one of those movies, and I loved that movie when I was a kid. And we watched it last night, and movie's not that good. But then I watched... Is anybody here familiar with the filmmaker Neil Breen? Neil Breen? And is anybody familiar with Neil Breen's work? So I watched my first Neil Breen film last night. Fateful Findings is the one I watched. So if you're familiar with Neil Breen and you're familiar with Fateful Findings, I watched that last night, and I think I have a new filmmaker obsession. I think that Neil Breen, after watching this movie, Fateful Findings, I think he's either the worst filmmaker in the history of cinema, or he's one of the most genius filmmakers in cinema history. What do y'all think? anybody who knows Neil Breen's work, what do you think? Is this dude genius, or is this dude the worst? Cannabis and Comics. Excellent name. Yeah, it was a riff on comics and or coffee and comics, which is the Bueller and Bullseye Bob show. Well, the Bueller show. How about your best Larry Hama trade? Well, bro, I only got one of those, and it's in the other room. So, all right, let's go. We now pause for station identification. While we do that, why don't you learn about my homie's video store? It's pretty dope. Hey, everybody. Rockin Robbie here, and I want to talk to you about Big Mix Vintage Video. Right now in Huntsville, Alabama, you can go and rent movies from an actual video store. Now, this is run by my good homie of over 20 years, David. So go let him know that PCP sent you. This dude's got over 18,000 movies. That's right. He's got DVDs. He's got Blu-rays. He's got 4Ks. Hell, he's got VHS and Laserdisc. He's got an exceptional collection of your favorite filmmakers, your favorite film franchises, and he really specializes in hard-to-find, unheard of horror movies. This dude is where it's at. He's my go-to source for those hard to get movies that I don't want to spend a freaking bundle on Amazon or eBay to get. It's just a nice old school kind of vibe when you go in. One of the best video stores I've ever been at. If you're in Huntsville, Alabama, go to 309 Dallas Street and check out Big Mix Vintage Video. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook, and you can email them at bigmixvintage@gmail.com. All right, everybody check out Big Mix Vintage if you can. All right, Larry Hama, pretty much the only thing I have. I own one issue of G.I. Joe, and it's the silent issue. Is that like, what, 21 or some shit like that? Which one is that? Is that 21? What do y'all remember? 21, 22? Let's see. 21. It's issue 21. It's this one, which this is the Larry Hama book I have, the trade. I got the compendium for G.I. Joe, Volume 1, soft cover. If you did the Kickstarter, you could get the hardcover. I don't want this in hardcover. All right, it seems like it's obnoxiously thick, right? This shit's bigger than my fucking head, y'all. This is bigger than my head. It's the first 50 issues of Larry Hama's G.I. Joe, right? And it's reprinted on a newsprint type format, which I love. It smells great. It got the smell of the week when it came out. It might be the smell of the year. I love the fact that they're reprinting this on newsprint, basically, right? That's super cool. And I haven't read through it yet, but here we are in the, just after middle of the book. I don't see I'm going to have a problem with this. I don't know if the binding's going to fall apart or nothing, but it seems very well put together. And for what, $65? First 50 issues of G.I. Joe? There you go. All right, however, since you like when I pull out a book, here's something that I haven't shown off in a while. This is a Marvel hardcover, the complete Frank Miller Spider-Man, with a dope-ass wraparound cover by Frank Miller that I think was new at the time. So this has all of Frank Miller's Spider-Man work, which is mostly team-ups and other shit. Spectacular Spider-Man 27 and 28. Amazing Spider-Man Annual 14 and 15. Marvel Team-Up Annual 4 and Marvel Team-Up 100. But it's all here. And I'm a big Frank Miller fan. And this was something that, when it first released, I had to get a hold of it, just so that I had, in a collected form, his work on Spider-Man, which is, there's not a lot of it, but there's enough of it to warrant owning something like this. And I do believe that you can still find this on eBay in the aftermarket relatively cheaply. The original cover price was $30. I don't think it's worth too much more. I still think you can find this pretty easily. So, Frank Miller's complete Spider-Man right there. Is there anything cool on the... not really. It's just that. But yeah, I've kept that. So that's a cool random thing from my collection. And the one Larry Hama book I got. All right, I see some people know who Neil Breen is. Contemporary Comics says, unfortunately, I do know Neil Breen. Twisted Pair is better than Fateful Findings. Fateful Findings is all I've seen so far. Comic Cinephile says, I know you work at a LCS, but if not, will you upgrade your floppies to trades and purge your singles or on certain runs? The less singles I have, the better. They get overwhelming. I guess the way I can put it is this, right? So like the floppy is like, what's new? What's coming in? Everybody wants to get it. And then all of a sudden it gets overwhelming. You got to trim that. The stuff that you have in like trade paperbacks or hardcovers, that's stuff that is a little bit more special than just like picking it up week to week, right? So I purge out, and yes, to answer your question, there is stuff that I have collected in floppies that I got rid of the floppies to get the collections. But then there are collections, floppies that I've traded out to get the collections, and then got rid of the collections to re-get the floppies. So for me right now, and I've been reading comics for about 35 plus years, right? So for me, there's a difference. As far as what I want to buy week to week, that's very little right now. I buy Fantastic Four, but I don't buy many modern week to week comics. Because of my position, my job, I'm able to like read everything. So it like scratches that itch. I don't have to worry about it. So I'm actually now currently buying less comics than ever as far as weekly comics. Trades, I still get trades. I still love having certain things in the collection. And I also still love finding old things and curating a comic collection. So the way it's working for me is this. Very little do I care about collecting week to week comics. There's still some things I do. Peter Bag's Hate Revisited, for instance. I picked that up month to month for 4 months. I always get Fantastic Four. It's like, that's my book I collect. You know, the one thing I have in my life, if everything else gets stripped from my life, at least I have the next issue of Fantastic Four to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? So I will always get Fantastic Four. That's just, almost all of us have that, right? But yeah, like East to West, I had the books. I got rid of that because I wanted the trades. And the trades, or the hardcovers, right? That means more to me now because the hardcover, volume 1 I have, is signed by the writer, Jonathan Hickman, signed by the artist, Nick Dragata, with a sketch from Nick Dragata in there. So that's awesome. And I love having things like that. So East to West to me is a book to have in a nice deluxe hardcover format, right? Fantastic Four is something to collect in floppies. You know what I'm saying? Tomb of Dracula. I'd love to have every single issue, the original issue, but that's not financially affordable for me right now. So I have all of the recent trade paperbacks of the complete collection of Tomb of Dracula in color, and I have Essential Tomb of Dracula, which is the black and white. Things like that, right? Like, there are things that I want, like Crisis on Infinite Earths. I have the trade paperback, and I have the original issues, and I have the foil facsimiles. So I have that in all three forms. You know what I'm saying? So like, it kind of just like personal preference and what you want to do. But I don't know. To me, there's things that are like, I consider like East to West is like a book, right? Fantastic Four is like comics. New Warriors issues from the 90s, that's like comics. I want it. Thunderbolts comics. Like, I like that. That's like digging in the book. Image shit. You know, that's like digging through the fucking long box to pull out an issue and read it and shit like that, right? That's dope. Trade paperbacks, they're more like books, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's weird. Contemporary Comics says Breen is a hack with money. Does he have money? Does he? That Fateful Findings did not look like it cost very much to make. Reckoning says, haha, yes, I know Neil Breen from Fanboy Flicks. Great film, YouTube channel. Okay. Comic Cinephile says Twisted Pair was fun. Taki is here. Station, my man, how you doing? The G.I. Joe Omni is too big. I don't think it is. Not in this paperback form. It's light. It opens up very easily for me. Like I'm in the middle of the book, Taki, and you can see everything that you need to see on the page. I don't think it's too big. I don't think it is. And it's because of the thinness of the paper, but it's because it's that newsprint makes the colors work a little bit better than if they did the glossy thing. Matt, what is up, dude? Station. My brother, love you, man. Random Review is in the house. Twisted Pair was fun. Helena! So good to see you here. Frank Familiar, yeah, what's up? Lena, Matt, so good to see y'all. Love y'all. Love y'all so much. Red Blade #2, good shit. Unfortunately, it's just a 5-issue series. That's some bullshit. Not buying Kaya monthly. No, I'm not buying Kaya monthly. I'm not. I am waiting for a deluxe hardcover on Kaya. Kaya is something I want in a deluxe hardcover. 9-Panel Grid says, somebody say Kaya? You mean the best comic on stands each month? We didn't talk about it this month. I guess there wasn't a Kaya this month, was there? I'm not buying it monthly, Contemporary, but I am reading it monthly. I am reading it monthly, for sure. All right, I got to go watch this movie. All right, so let's go ahead and implement. I'll tell you what, Neil Breen, though, I can't. Here's the thing. Here's my final thought about this. I mentioned this last night. I don't see Jelani in the chat. Maybe Brooks is watching later, but I don't know if he is or not. I don't think Brooks watches Rockin Robbie Live. There was a Kaya this month. Well, we didn't talk about it. Great book. I fucking love Kaya. It's like Bone. Bone I have in like hardcover format. Black and white hardcover format. Except for the final volume. I never got the final volume in hardcover in black and white. So I got the bullshit smaller digest hardcover in color. Really pisses me off. Taki, I love you, man. Nobody was mentioned in Shadow Cabinet last night, man. Sorry. Sorry, brother. I got to have more of a foundation for the milestone books. I'll tell you that. Anyway, if anybody knows where to get an original black and white hardcover from Cartoon Books of Bone Volume 9, let me know, because I need to fucking get rid of the fucking bullshit that I have. I need that. Like, somehow I missed it. There are things that a certain comic shop back in the day did not do very well for me when I wasn't running it. That includes my Bone hardcover collection, my Sandman hardcover collection, and my Stray Bullets hardcover collection, which I decided just to get rid of my Stray Bullets hardcover collection because I missed out on volume 4. Whatever. Now I'm getting pissy again. Oh yeah, like Ice Cream Man, for instance. That would be great to collect individually. But it would also, I think it's really great to collect it in those deluxe hardcovers. Marvel doesn't do deluxe hardcovers. DC does some. For instance, like DC, okay. Some DC books I really liked recently. How about Scott Snyder and Jorge Jimenez on Justice League? The stuff between Metal and Death Metal. I love that Justice League run. I bought and collected every single issue of that. And then I got the trade paperbacks of that. So I have all the trades of all the Scott Snyder, Justice League, James Tynion stuff that's between Metal and Death Metal. I have all that in trade paperback, so I got rid of my single issues because I didn't need them anymore, right? But also, then they did hardcovers of them, but I didn't upgrade to the hardcovers. I just got And the reason why I didn't upgrade to the hardcovers is because, let me show you. So the reason why I did not upgrade to the hardcover is because I had already had Volume 1 in paperback, even though I had bought every single issue. And when I take a book, usually, like when I meet somebody, I usually want to take like a hardcover or a paperback or something like that. And the first time I met Scott Snyder in 2019, I got him to sign this because and if y'all have been on this channel for a while, you remember how into this Justice League run I was? I still love this fucking Justice League run. It's so much fucking fun. I love revisiting this run. So, maybe that's something to do too, is maybe revisit that. But look at that fucking shit, y'all. That's good stuff. Anyway, so this, I'm stuck now. I will just always have the soft covers because the first one is a memento from when I first met Scott Snyder. People bought out my comic shop. Contemporary Comics says, I got all the Ice Cream Man individual issues from number 5 through today. They're the best. I never collected Ice Cream Man. So I had the paperbacks. I had like the first 4 or 5, and then now I'm a Sunday edition guy. But I never collected it. Honestly, I didn't really like Ice Cream Man until about issue 4 or 5. Strange Neapolitan was the first issue of Ice Cream Man that really took notice with me. And it's still one of my favorite issues of the series, but not the best. The Bone Volume 9 hardcover is... Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about here, William. All right, so here are the Bone hardcovers that I was collecting as they were coming out. They're from Cartoon Books. They all have the same trade dress. They're beautiful hardcovers, and they're in black and white, the original black and white. The book has since been colored, right? But I love the original black and white. I like the color too. It's fine. So that's volume 8. The last volume, the last book is number 9. Number 9, right? Here's my copy of number 9. Still published by, this is now Scholastic that's publishing this. And it's a beautiful hardcover edition. But you ready for this? It's the final volume, smaller and in color. So now I have every Bone book this size in black and white, but then the final volume, it's a little bit smaller and it's in color. I don't like that. In fact, honestly, I want all 9 of these, actually 10 if you include Rose, and all 10 of these. Because these are beautiful and I like the color work, but this collection is still not complete to me, if that makes sense. It's ridiculous. And if you have never heard or read Bone, Bone is one of the absolute best comics of all time. And I would say that it is as important as Jack Kirby and Stan Lee's Fantastic Four. It's as important as Katsuro Otomo on Akira. It's as important as any of the work from Mobius. It's as important as Dark Knight Returns. It's as important as The Watchmen. Bone is the best all ages comic of all time. And I do not say that lightly. Fable's got every issue of Ice Cream Man. Got the first 19 on eBay for a steal. Hell yeah. See, in hindsight, Ice Cream Man is something I would like to have the whole run of, but now I don't need it. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, they do. All the small like editions of Bone now are cheap. They're like, well, this was a 1999 version of it, but now they're even smaller and they're like $12.99. So Bone in print right now, you can get the individual colored versions for like $12.99 or something, Scholastic, right? And they've sold millions of copies. Or you can get the big compendium, which is in black and white. I think there's a color version of it as well. But in black and white, you can get the whole thing for like 35 to 40-ish bucks, something like that. But it's as thick as that G.I. Joe. It's just, but it is smaller, a little bit more digesty. I sent one, I think, to Herm. Imagine if they had Bone in a digest format for $10. The whole thing, they couldn't put the whole thing for $10. But they could break it back up. They could break it back out. Bone is amazing. And Bone still sales. Like, there's no problem selling Bone right now. Bone is a Scholastic book. It's like Dogman. It's sold in those book fairs. That's a legitimate selling comic. Marvel needs to get into that. They're trying. DC's trying. They haven't made it work yet. But I think DC Compact might make it work. The big thing, though, that pulls DC out of the Scholastic talk is they don't have a lot of all ages content, which is crazy to think about. Kids today, they will love reading something like Bone or Dogman or some shit like that, right? But they don't necessarily want to read Superman comics from the fucking 30s. They don't want to read Fantastic Four comics from the 60s, you know? So, and when Marvel doesn't put money behind talent on all ages books usually, so it's usually like a talking down kind of situation going on, which I think is unfortunate, right? And DC tried, Primer, DC has more hits with that, but like they just don't, a lot of DC books are like not for kids, right? Like the best DC books, like the way to hook people into comics is shit like Watchmen, Dark Knight Returns, Authority, All-Star Superman. DC Compact's doing that. DC's doing it right now. Scholastic books for adults, basically, right? But yeah, Bone is, if anybody's never read Bone, do yourself a favor. Put it on your fucking Christmas list. That shit is so good. 9-Panel Grid says, I prefer black and white for Bone 2. Colors were in that time where everything looked so obviously digital. I agree with you. And he also says, but my kids love the color versions. Accessibility matters. Hell yeah. Got a signed copy of the compendium during COVID, says 00711. Arrived dented. Thanks, UPS, but still love it. Hell yeah. All right, show and tell. We've been showing off a lot of stuff. I haven't bought a lot of movies lately, and I don't typically do the Black Friday stuff, but there was a Amazon Black Friday deal for something on my wish list that I had to go ahead and bite the bullet. So I got this for like $5, y'all. So I went ahead and got Snatch because I didn't have Snatch on Blu-ray. So there you go. We did cover Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, the first Guy Ritchie film. This is the second Guy Ritchie film. And now that I have it, you know what that means? It's going to be added to the PCP Movie Night lineup at some point. In some form or fashion. All right, I've already showed this off, but I'm re-showing off this Destro figure that I picked up not too long ago. And the reason why I'm showing this off is because now I've gotten my second G.I. Joe figure. I got this badass Cobra Commander retro card edition with a chromed out mask. Look how badass this Cobra Commander is. And you know, I have to have the duo. Cobra Commander and Destro now. Super excited to open those up and display them. All right. So a good homie of mine who runs a store in town, a toy shop called Replay Toys. He is the one who hooked me up with the C. Thomas Howell interview that I did. So everybody throw a station out. What's up, Eddie? Everybody throw a station out for Jordan for hooking that up, but also hooking your boy up with a pretty rare figure from back in the day. One of the rare figures of this franchise. And he just brought this to me and gave it to me. So Jordan, thank you so much. Did you see this, dude? Do y'all even know what this is yet? How about if I show the dude that goes along with them? Boy. It's the tall man from Phantasm with one of the little dwarf dudes. I think this set came with the like the tuning fork pillars too. But how dope is that? These are like early McFarlane Movie Maniacs or early like NECA figures, I think. But they're not easy to find. And so Jordan is the shit for hooking me up with those. Thank you, Jordan. Love you. I just dropped that Phantasm sphere. You know I'm still missing a slice of pizza from the pizza tosser? I sure am. All right. My good friend Jay got me this horror duck set. It's 13 rubber duckies, but they're all horror themed. And we know what they all are. They're these things, right? Except for 2 of them, we don't know what these are, right? So, Jay, love you. Thank you so much for getting this for me. And Jay told me to start opening them one a day on December 1st so that it ends on December 13th. By the way, December 13th is Friday the 13th, so Jay really planned that out. On Friday the 13th, over at Blood Splatter Chatter, we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th Part 3. So, it's December 1st. So, we're going to open up the first rubber ducky right now, y'all. Let's do it. William says, Barnes & Noble has a 50% off Criterion Collection Blu-rays. Picked up Lone Wolf and Cub, Seconds, and Quiden. I have a Lone Wolf and Cub. But yeah, and what's really cool is that when Amazon or when Barnes & Noble does that Criterion sale, Amazon does a Criterion sale too. So there's a lot of Amazon movies on sale right now, including some on my wish list, which is pinned at the top of the chat, including 8.5, the Fellini film. And I'd really love to cover that. All right, so number 1 of the spooky rubber ducks. What do we got? We've got a Frankenstein monster rubber duck. That's so cute. He's got a little purple tie. Look at dude. He looks so sad. That's fucking awesome. Jay, thank you so much. I cannot wait to open up more of these rubber duckies and find out what the mystery ones are. All right, so now it does. So number 1 was the Frankenstein. So I literally know what all of them are except for day. Wait, 1, 2, 3. There's 15 of these motherfuckers. So we got to go to Friday the 13th. Then there's 2 bonus ones. Ooh. Interesting. Cool. But there you go. So next week, I guess we'll have a few more of these to show you. All right. And I picked this up not too long ago. I'm going to go ahead and show this off. It's one of the biggest toys I have ever owned. This is my Fortress Maximus. They recently re-released it. And I got a hold of one. I have not transformed this. I have not put the stickers on. I have not done anything but pull it out of the box and just been blown the fuck away at how big this is. This is literally the biggest toy I have. This is a Fortress Maximus from the Titans Return Hasbro Transformers line. How dope is that, y'all? I'm like Tiny Elvis. It's like the Nick Cage SNL bit. Look at that Fort Max. It's huge, man. Yeah, he turns into a fortress. He's a headmaster as well. This is one of the most intimidating toys I've ever had. I have a giant Galactus back there that I absolutely was blown away with because it's like an 18-inch Galactus. Now they got like a 4-foot Galactus that like Jelani and some other homies of mine have, but I don't. But this Fort Max is like insane. And Scorponaut is coming back too. And I have him on pre-order. So yeah, we'll see. But that's show and tell, which is the show. Thank you so much. I got to go watch Double Impact, y'all. And so do you. Get ready. Double Impact tomorrow night on PCP Movie Night at 8 p.m. Central Time. But do check out my show that we did over at Blood Splatter Chatter on Friday night, Smile and Smile Too. Check out the all-new, all-different Blame Fable show. First episode back was on Friday. It was super fun. Check out last night's Best Comics of November monthly comic book stream. That was super fun. We love you. We appreciate you. Station. Pop, pop, boom. Keep on living, learning, and reading. And we'll see you next week for Rockin Robbie Live. But we'll see you tomorrow night for Jean-Claude Van Damme with Van Damme December. So I'm going to go watch Double Impact right now. You do the same. I'm going to watch Double Impact and eat some deviled eggs and have some pecan pie. And it's going to be great. Love y'all.